The story continues, with the siblings now carrying not only the weight of the curse but also the memory of their mother's sacrifice. The forest may still be watching, waiting for its moment to strike again, but Simi and Femi are no longer the same children who entered it. They are stronger, together. And their fight is just beginning. Simi and Femi are set to avenge the death of their mother and break the generational curses. Long ago, Simi's ancestors, desperate for children, journeyed deep into the hidden stream of Atani. The forest, ancient and alive with restless spirits, whispered promises in their ears. Your lineage will thrive, it murmured, but a price must be paid. The ancestors, blinded by longing to have children, agreed each child born would belong to the forest in soul, tied to its magic for eternity. And they are all forbidden to come near the hidden stream. For generations, every child carried the forest mark, a curse hidden beneath joy. Some ancestors tried to break the pact, but those children were swallowed by the woods, never to return. Others accepted it, and it has been like this for generations. This was the secret burden passed down, until it reached Simi's mother, who tried, in vain, to shield her children from the fate written long before their birth. Until Simi unknowingly went against the covenant held for generations. Now, Simi and Femi are the next in line, marked by a curse they never knew existed, trapped in a web their ancestors created. The scent of wood smoke still lingered in the air as Simi and Femi stood at the edge of the house, staring at the grave they had dug for their mother. Her death left a gaping hole in their hearts, a pain that words could never express. They hadn't even been able to complete her funeral rites. Each attempt was interrupted by strange happenings, winds that blew out candles, animals that howled at her burial cloth, and the earth itself shaking beneath their feet. Femi's jaw was tight with anger. The forest took everything from us. His fist trembled. It killed her. And it will keep coming for us. Simi stood beside him, holding the leather and silver bracelet their mother had given them in her final moments. We'll stop it, she whispered, her voice steady. We have to. Femi turned to her, eyes burning with determination. No more running. We'll break the curse. And we'll make them pay for what they did to Mama. Simi nodded, tears filling her eyes. But we can't do it alone. And so, with their hearts set on revenge, the siblings prepared for a journey that would change their lives forever. They walked to the edge of the village, to the home of Iniola, the wise seer who knew all the secrets of Atani. Her hut was shrouded in herbs and bones. Iniola had once warned their mother of the curse, though her words had fallen on deaf ears. Inside, the air was thick with incense and old magic. Iniola's blind eyes stared through them as they entered. Yet, somehow, she saw everything. You've come, she whispered, her voice low and raspy. Just as I knew you would. My condolence. Femi clenched his fist. Tell us how to break the curse. Iniola let out a low chuckle. Breaking a pact made with the hidden stream is no simple task, boy. It's older than any of us. Simi stepped forward, her voice sharp with determination. We're not leaving until you tell us how. The old woman studied them for a long moment, then nodded. There is only one way, you must go to the hidden stream and meet the goddess who guards it. She alone holds the power to unbind your souls from the forest. Femi frowned. How do we find her? The stream will call you if your heart is ready to make the sacrifices it demands. Iniola's voice dropped to a whisper. But be warned, this journey will cost you everything. The goddess's mercy is not free. Simi and Femi exchanged a glance. It had already cost us our mother, at this point I don't really care, Femi said. They knew what they had to do. The next morning, with nothing but a jar of water and food, the bracelet given to them by their mother and their rage to guide them, they left the village behind. They walked through dense forests, crossed rivers, and climbed hills, following the whispers of the hidden stream. Every step took them deeper into unknown lands, and further from the only home they had ever known. The forest watched them. Branches twisted to block their path, and strange animals prowled just beyond sight. The air shimmered with unseen power, and every now and then, Simi swore she heard their mother's voice on the wind, urging them to be careful. But they pressed on. At last, after days of traveling, they reached the hidden stream, a glittering ribbon of water that glowed under the moonlight. The air here was thick with magic, and the sound of the water seemed to hum in their bones. "She's here," Simi whispered. Suddenly, the water swelled and rose, taking the shape of a woman. The goddess of the stream stood before them, her skin shining like river stones, her hair flowing like water. Her eyes were cold and ancient, holding the weight of centuries. "Why have you come?" the goddess asked, her voice as smooth as the water she commanded. "We want to break the curse," Femi said boldly, stepping forward. "We want our lives back." The goddess tilted her head. "The curse was the price your ancestors paid. Are you willing to pay a greater price to undo what they have done?" Simi and Femi exchanged a glance. "What do you want from us?" Simi asked, her heart pounding. The goddess smiled, a sharp and knowing smile. "The forest spirit will not release you easily. You must fight it, and to do so, you must sacrifice what you hold most dear." Femi swallowed. "What do we have to give?" "You have taken our mother?" "No, I did not take her, she gave up herself for you." The goddess's eyes gleamed. "Okay, what do you want?" Simi said, winding her eyes. "You must leave everything behind. Your village, your memories, your entire life as you know it. Only then will you have the strength to defeat the forest." Simi's heart sank. The weight of what the goddess demanded was heavy, almost unbearable. But she knew they had no other choice. "We'll do it," she whispered. The goddess raised a hand, and the waters of the stream surged toward them. "Then the pact is made." The moment the water touched them, Simi and Femi felt a strange, powerful force surge through their bodies. The magic of the stream burned away their fear, their hesitation, leaving only clarity and purpose. They felt the forest spirit awaken, sensing that its prey had returned. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the air filled with the sound of whispers and hissing leaves. But this time, they weren't afraid. Together, they stepped into the heart of the forest, ready to confront the spirit that had haunted their family for generations. The forest came alive with fury. Vines snapped like whips, trees groaned and bent toward them, and strange creatures crawled from the shadows. But Simi and Femi fought back, using the power of the hidden stream that now flowed within them. Every step they took burned with determination. They fought not just for themselves, but for their mother, for every ancestor who had been claimed by the forest. The spirit of the forest roared, a dark and terrible sound, as it tried to pull them under. But Simi raised her mother's bracelet, and its silver charms glowed bright, repelling the darkness. For what felt like hours, they fought, cutting through vines, dodging roots, and slashing through the shadows. Their bodies ached, but they didn't stop. They couldn't stop. At last, they reached the heart of the forest, where the spirit's power was strongest. It appeared before them as a massive shadow, shifting and riding like smoke. "You cannot defeat me," the spirit hissed. "I am bound to your blood." Simi stepped forward, her voice steady. "Not anymore." With a final burst of strength, she plunged the bracelet into the heart of the shadow. Light exploded outward, tearing the spirit apart. The forest screamed, the ground shook, and then, all at once, it was over. The forest fell silent. Breathless and exhausted, Simi and Femi stood side by side, staring at the place where the spirit had been. The curse was broken. The forest would no longer claim their family. But they knew they couldn't return to the village. They had paid the price the goddess demanded. Their old lives were gone. Femi turned to Simi, a small smile on his lips. "We are free." Simi smiled back, her heart full of both sorrow and hope. "We are." Together, they walked out of the forest, not to their home but to an unknown destination, leaving behind everything they had ever known. But they carried with them the memory of their mother, and the promise of a new beginning. The journey was over, but their story was just beginning. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay tuned for our upcoming releases. We would be dropping new videos on this channel regularly.